draw the sun and the stars and the moon. I can draw anything. How about you?
Ready, set, draw!
Hi, my name is K-Fai Steele and I write and draw picture books. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw Pip from a book I wrote and illustrated called A Normal Pig. Oh, hi Pip. Do you want to draw? Great. Ready, set, draw. So today we're going to need a pencil or a pen or a marker. I'm going to use this one. And we're also going to need something to draw on. I'm going to use this paper right here. Here's my favorite Pip to draw, and she's right on the cover. So anytime I start to draw a character, I always start with the eyes. And with Pip, her eyes are basically like two circles. So the way I start that is I just draw one circle, and then I draw another circle next to it. And then her pupils are just two dots, and I want to have her looking right at you. So they're just right in the middle. So Pip's nose, it's a snout, and it's kind of shaped like, someone used the word an onion. So it's shaped like this. So it's kind of like a circle, but it's got a point in the middle. And she has two nostrils that you can see. Like if you were to make your nose into a pig nose, you'd have two nostrils, right? And those are just lines. Now we're missing her mouth, and we want to have her smiling, just like on the cover. So the way I do that is I just draw a line from one side of the snout, almost like it's going through to the other side of the snout, and then I just connect that at the bottom. And then I'm also going to draw her teeth. So her teeth are just these little lines, just like this. Okay, so we have her face, but now we're missing everything else. So I'm going to start with her ears at the top of her head. Her ears are kind of like triangles, but I think they're a little rounder. They're more like a leaf shape. So I start just above one of her eyes, just above one of the circles I've already drawn, and I draw kind of a triangle, but more like a leaf. I'm going to go on the other side, just above the other circle that's her eye, and draw that other leaf now. Okay, now let's connect this all. And we do that just by drawing a line, connecting that part of those two leaves. So her body is basically a bean, and we want it to go down a little longer than the rest of her head. So I'm going to just draw her like this, like about double the length of her head, and then I'm just going to stop, so that line. So that's one side of the bean, and I'm going to draw the other side of the bean, but before I get down to the bottom, I'm going to stop. How does that look, Pip? Cool, great. All right, so now we're missing Pip's arms and legs. So the way I draw her arms, basically they're two triangles on the sides of her body. This is also an illustrator trick. If you don't feel like drawing something, you hide it behind something else. And the way I do that, it's very simple. I just draw kind of like a half circle on one side and a half circle on the other side. And I just make a little dent with the brush, just a couple lines on either side, just to show that that's where her elbows are. That's where her elbows bend. Okay, now let's draw her legs. And her legs are just like kind of two little stick legs. So two lines there on one side, two lines here on the other side. And then I'm going to connect at the bottom just like I did with the top of her head. And now we're just missing some feet. So let's draw her little hooves. So it's just a line and then a kind of a W shape, and then it wraps around to the back of that other line. Let's do that again. A line, a W shape, and then it wraps around to the back. So that's basically Pip, but she's missing something, right? She's missing her spots. So let's put those in. So she's got one spot in between her eyes that's about the same size as her eyes. All these dots are pretty much the same size as her eyes. There's a dot on her ear, which is actually her right ear. That would be your right ear if you were Pip. There's one on one side of her mouth. There's one on the other side of her mouth. There's one above her belly button, like underneath her chin. There's one that's right on her belly button, and then there's one to the right and one to the left. And then the final thing with Pip that we need to make sure we draw is her curly tail, right? So the way I do that is it's just a little curl coming off of the side. So it's like it's curling around her body. And that's how you draw Pip. So now we're gonna learn how to draw expressions. So the expression I'm very excited about showing you how to draw is one of my favorite expressions that Pip makes in the book. It's when she's very upset. She's just had a really bad day at school. I'm gonna start actually with her eyebrows. And when you draw someone who's angry or upset, you draw their eyes kind of at a slant, right? Or it's like their brows are furrowed. So you have these two lines that come down to show that they're like scrunching their eyes up. And then I'm gonna draw two semicircles underneath that. And I'm gonna draw two circles underneath there. But she's also upset, so it's not like she's just angry. So I also drew some tears underneath her eyes. And the way I do that is I just draw two semicircles under that. All right, now let's draw her snout again. She has her snout, it's just again that onion shape with the two dots that are a little longer than circles in the middle. I'm also gonna draw her ears a little differently. So instead of her ears being up and perky, they're kind of flipped out a little bit because she's upset and she's kind of pushing her body forward in space. I'm gonna draw her ears kind of sideways. So again, it's that leaf shape, but it's just kind of pointing in two different directions. She's very upset. So I'm gonna draw her mouth just like a bean shape kind of, but sideways, but it's open. Her mouth is open, right? She's yelling. I'm gonna draw her body a little differently. Instead of drawing her body as an upright bean, I actually kind of draw a bit to the side. So we have, again, that bean shape that goes down like this and down like this. And I'm gonna put her arms so that they're very straight and leaning against the table. So there's two lines there for one arm, two lines here for the other arm, and her hooves are kind of flat. Oh, she's so upset right now. The way I draw a table in her kitchen table is I just draw a line behind where her wrists are. And then we can finish off where her body is. And sometimes I'll also draw, just like I drew her elbows earlier, I'll just draw a little line that shows that her armpits are right there. Okay, what else is she missing now? She's missing her spots, right? She has her spots always in the same place. She's got one between her eyes, one on her right ear, one on her chest, another one that's right above her belly button, one on one side, one on the other side of her cheeks, and then there's one over here, and one over here. We'll just draw the detail of that, just so you can kind of see it, because her arms are kind of blocking it otherwise. One other thing I'll add, just for emotion, is just a couple of lines, just to show that there's an emotion coming off of her. So we just drew Pip, and she's pretty upset in this picture. So let's draw one where she's feeling a little happier and maybe a little more relaxed. Instead of drawing circles where her eyes would be, she's gonna have just these two, almost like two smiley faces next to each other. So two smiles. So again, there's that onion shape with the two dots in the middle. And we're gonna draw her smile that's actually pretty similar to the smile that is her eyes. So we're gonna draw a line on one side and a line on the other side. And I want her having kind of like that kind of smile. And so the way I do that is I'm gonna draw one line that's just a little further up than the other line. Let's draw her ears again. And again, with those ears, instead of having them be really perky, I'm gonna have them be kind of off to the side like that. She's feeling pretty comfortable. Kind of leaning this way a little bit. And so what I like to do sometimes when I'm drawing her like that is I'll just stick an arm up. So she's like a mix of noodles and beans, is what I say. Her body is like a big bean shape and her arms are like sticks or noodles. They're just like little lines, right? But this arm right here is just more of a noodle. So again, it's just like a curve like that, and then her little hoof, which is a W, right? I'm gonna have her body like this, and let's put her other hand, her hoof, just over here, and again, that W shape. So she's leaning against something here. What do you think she might be leaning against? Maybe she's leaning against, should we just put a bookshelf? Because we're talking about books here. All right. So we'll make that line like that. So see how I'm drawing like a square? We drew one line and then four other lines going away from it. And I'm gonna draw one leg, which is just like the two lines, and then a line and then a W that kind of loops back around. That's that one side of her leg. But I don't think she's standing with both of her legs straight. I think she probably has one leg that's bent. So let's draw the other leg. Let's draw it kind of bent like this. And then we have the W shape again that loops back around. She's looking pretty casual and cool. Let's do her little tail, which is just a curly Q over here. And what else? Oh, she's missing her spots, of course. Again, it's right between her eyes, on one ear, under her chin, on her belly button, on one side, on the other side, and then on either one of her cheeks. And since we said it's a bookshelf, let's draw a couple of books. The way I draw books, it's basically like a bunch of long rectangles. And you can kind of fake it if you just draw a few of them and you make them look different enough. And some of them have like little writing on the sides. These look like they're art books. Pip has a pretty cool book collection. All right, and let's just finish off that cube. So that's how you draw Pip. How did I do? Aw, Pip is so cute. Thanks for watching, everyone, and happy drawing.